Hello, welcome to today's video. It's going to be something a little bit different today. I'm going to be talking you through some of my cars for the Horizon 5 wish list. I've got 5 cars here, and these cars, to my knowledge, have never been in a Forza game before, so yeah, these cars, you may want these cars like me, or you may not want these cars. This is just my personal wish list. And I'm going to start off today with the Toyota JZX100, also known as the Toyota Chaser. This is a 1990s Japanese saloon car made by Toyota, which contains the 1JZ engine, which is also found in the Mark III Supra, which I am driving now, which produces around about 330 horsepower. And the reason why I want this is because the Chaser is really popular with drifters, and we now have that massive mountain road which goes up, well, a volcano, and it's one of the best roads, if not the best road ever in a Horizon game. So that is why I want it in Horizon 5. Also, you might be saying, yeah, but it's not Japan, it wouldn't really fit in, but, well, we've still got that massive mountain road. So, yeah, and anyway, with passing some other games, we have also had cars which really shouldn't have been added because of, well, they were, but weren't added because of the location. I'm not going to name any examples, but we have. Now, on to our second car on the list is going to be the Toyota GR Yaris, which is a relatively new car. It is or if you don't know what it is, well, you should. It is a all-wheel drive hot hatchback with 1.6 3-cylinder turbocharged engine, which produces 260 horsepower, which is a lot, especially for a car which is a Toyota Yaris. Now, it also has 4-wheel drive, and you may be saying, why have Toyota built this? Because, well, it's a Yaris, a 4-wheel drive, and nearly 300 horsepower. Well, they built it for rallying. It was supposed to be a World Rally Championship car. It was actually meant to be a homologation special, and if you don't know what that is, I'm going to introduce you to the olden days of Group B. Now, in Group B, what happened was, these companies would make a car which would compete in the events. Now, to make a car which is eligible to compete, they had to make 400 road-going production vehicles variants. So that's what they did, and these cars were very incredibly fast. Some of these cars included the Audi Quattro S1, the Lancia 037, and the Ford RS 200. And a fun fact about the Ford RS 200, it was the most powerful car when it was produced in the world. Most powerful road-going car in the world when it was produced. That was just how mad Group B was. Now, obviously, this Toyota Yaris isn't the most powerful production car in the world, otherwise it will have nearly 2,000 horsepower. But it does have nearly 300 horsepower in comparison to 2,000 horsepower. That's not a lot, but in something which is the size and shape and a bit lighter than a normal Toyota Yaris with 4-wheel drive, that is very quick. Now, I want this car in Horizon 4 again. 1, I really like it, and 2, we also now have on the other side of the volcano a massive dirt road which goes up the volcano, which I think, to take the Toyota Yaris GR down some of those dirt roads in Mexico would be very good indeed. Next vehicle is the 1934 Bugatti Type 57 Atlantic. Now, This is a very old car. Most of you probably haven't even heard of it. You probably think Bugatti is the company which makes the V1 and the Chiron. That's really about it. But they have a very long history, Bugatti. Now, the Type 57 Atlantic, to my knowledge, is the most expensive car ever sold at auction, I think. Now, it had a twin-cam 3.2 litre supercharged V12. Now, this is a lot, especially from a car on 1930s tyres, so it's going to be quite a bit of a handful, but I do reckon it will have a superb top speed for how much horsepower how big the engine it has, especially for the era. Now, Bugatti have built a one-off variant of the Type 57 Atlantic for today. I cannot remember what it was called, but it did have one of the features, which was that on the Type 57 Atlantic it was built in two halves, and they were riveted together by a line up from down the middle. Now, the modern variant also does have this line, but sadly I cannot remember what the car was called. It's probably just called the Bugatti Atlantic. Now, the reason why I want this car is I really like it. It wouldn't suit Horizon Mexico at all, but there will probably hopefully be bar fines in Mexico, and it's an old car, and also there have been drug law in Mexico in the past, maybe now even. So, could a drug lord have stolen one of these Bugattis to sell on? Forgotten where they placed it? Possibly. And we could find it. That's why I think the Type 57 Atlantic will be a good car for Horizon 5 Mexico. Next car on my list is the Spiker C8, which is from the Netherlands, which is also Deutsch, which is Germany. It's very confusing. But the Spiker C8 has, to my knowledge, only ever been seen in one other video game, and that was what was it called? It'll come back to me. He's only seen it in one other video, which was Test Drive Unlimited 2. Now, that game was on on two islands in Hawaii, which is actually getting a new game this year, which is going to be Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crown. Now, this is not a Test Drive video, this is an Horizon 5 video, so it's only been seen in one other video game, which, to be fair, came out in about 2010. So, is it any? So why hasn't there been any in any new games? Well, to be frankly, I don't know. Well, it was brought out in the year 2000, or the concept was, and there has been a Top Gear episode about it. It said, one of the quotes, and I am quoting here, it has no airbags, but there's a spike on the steering wheel, and what a way to go. So, it must be good. It also does have air conditioning and heating, but no vents for it to come out of. So, that's good, I guess. Now, I want this because it is a fabulous car, and to be fair, I've never actually driven one in a video game. I didn't have Test Drive Unlimited 2, but I did have the first Test Drive Unlimited. Well, might have been there, might not have been, but it's a fabulous car. And to be fair, we've only got one car from the Netherlands in this game, which is the Donkervoort GTO, which well, it's quite a mad version of a Caterham with a engine. I don't know what kind of engine. Sounds like an inline 5 with an engine in it. And will it fit into Mexico? Most definitely not. But it's a very cool car. And yeah, it's a very cool car, and I want it. Forza, listen to me. I want the Spiker C8 in Horizon 5, please. My final car I want in Horizon 5 is the 2013 or 14 Alfa Romeo Discoverante, which in Italian stands for Flying Saucer. Now, it's a very, very expensive car. I believe costing over £1 million. It only comes in left-hand drive, and one of the reasons why it costs £1 million is because it's actually an Alfa Romeo 8C, which, to be fair, wasn't that good of a GT car. Or of a car at all. But it had the Alfa Romeo Discoverante has been restyled by a coach building company called Touring. Now what coach building is that in the 1930s or something, you would, if you're very rich, you would have bought not a car but a rolling chassis. So all the mechanical components, so stuff like the engine, the drivetrain, the gearbox, the radiator, and all of that, and then you would have sent it to a coach building company to build you a body for it. Now this is very long, it takes a very long time, it's very, very expensive. Now, that's what Touring did with the 8C, and they also did some. They have also done some other stuff by making a Bentley Continental hatchback. Don't question it. So, there's also some more reasons why it costs £1 million. It looks phenomenal. I won't be able to get any pictures up, but if you can Google Alfa Romeo Discoverante, it's a great car to just look at. It even now. It's painted, before they paint the colour of your choice, they paint it in gold first, just so that colour looks even better. And from my opinion, it's probably the best looking modern car we've had since the Jaguar E90 series on Jaguar E-Type convertible. That is just how good looking the Alfa Romeo is. And it's also a great sounding car with the engine from the 8C, but it's been tuned and with a different exhaust on it. It sounds phenomenal. There has been a Top Gear episode about it. You can just YouTube Top Gear episode Top Gear Alfa Romeo Discoverante. It was driven by Jamie Clarkson in Italy. It's the same episode Richard Hammond had the Mercedes 6x6, so there's a comparison for you. And yeah, well, that'll be the end of the video. So go to my Discord server, a link for that shall be in the description. Follow my Twitch channel, which this was streamed live on, because I have no other way of recording stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, which you are watching this on. And yeah, comment, like, subscribe, and goodbye.